The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Yeah, Earnestly Speaking podcast. Let's get it. I'm a giant in New York, in Miami carry heat. So much more in store, my product can flood the street. Opinion Nation Godfather, CEO. Off in the late 90s, gon' see me blow. Oh. Got my hustle on, no imitation of bad. Army of untouchables, Opinion Nation staff. Never an off season, homie, check the numbers. Heart throb in my own right, supplying southern comfort. Earnestly speaking, my ego is well fed. Earnestly speaking, you're too evil and no threat. See, I'm like a hurricane, you're a mild breeze. Earnestly speaking, leaving Eli a dynasty. Shake!
Earnestly Podcast, coming to you, recording this September 9th, 2025 on Tuesday, which will be dropping on the feed on Wednesday morning. Of course, it is EJ versus Degenerate, and join here every week as we do our picks of the week, our best bets of the week with the man, Zack the Gambling Degenerate. Zachary, what's up? How's week one?
Lost in Florida, lost in Vegas, par for the course.
Oh, yeah. How's your trip, by the way? You went to Vegas this weekend.
Oh, my gosh.
Is that a good? Is that a good oh my gosh or a bad oh my gosh?
No, that was a oh my god. Why can't I stop drinking sometimes?
Bro,
Saturday was brutal to the point I was sober on a Sunday.
Bro, we're the same age, man. We can't be hanging like we can't be doing this shit like we're 25, bro. I mean, I know you're since 24. We can't do this. We're not 40,
but it's man. Vegas. It's Vegas.
Pace yourself, brother. I mean, I did some debauchery in New York 2 weeks ago, but I also paced myself.
What you call pacing yourself, I call a turtle walking.
Okay, that's true. There's levels to this, and you're clearly level 10. I'm level 3. So anyway, we end up.
What happened now?
Something here. Something got the mic got muted a second. End up tied this week for week one for our picks. So week 2 is upon us. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about week best bets in a second. FSU minute, of course. We got bye week coming up this week, and then I want to talk to you about Billy Napier and his future in Florida, because what a big loss against South Florida, and the Gator fans I've gone 1 week going from like, oh my god, we're a playoff team to now, holy shit, our coach sucks again. So. We'll get to that in a second. All right, let's get to the best bets. Again, no bye weeks this week yet. First game, Thursday night. It's your boys, man. And a huge game, too. Commanders at Bucks. No, Commanders at Packers. Sorry. I wrote that wrong. Packers are 3.5-point favorites. The over-under is 48. Zachary, what you got?
I got my boys, man. Look, if the Packers couldn't blow out the Lions with as poorly as the Lions played all game, to the point every Lions fan is like, was it Ben Johnson this whole time?
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm feeling pretty confident in my team going into this week. We have a all-pro left tackle, so I feel a little safer for Jaden Daniels with that defensive line that Green Bay has. But I think we're going to actually outright win. So I'll play safe and take the points.
So you take a Washington this game, huh?
Absolutely.
You're getting confident, bro. You're getting real confident, dude. That Packer team we saw on Sunday. I talk about on this podcast a lot about how, like, okay, so we know that the definitive number 1 team in the NFC is Philadelphia, right? We agree with that, right? Number 2 is wide open. There's no definitive number 2 anywhere now. It's a race, honestly, like 6 teams. Commanders, Packers, Niners, Rams, Lions still for the time being, and you can throw in the Buccaneers if you want to. I think the Packers made their first case of why they're the second best team in the NFC. Not saying they are. I'm just saying they made the first case. being a Detroit team, look at Detroit in a second, but they look like clearly one game in, losing 2 coordinators, that's a problem. It costs you something. And the Packers, I had Micah, and maybe we finally get to the point where Jordan Love is a top 10 quarterback in the league. Well, maybe this is the year he extends that to that guy. One game sample, only go aboard. The thing is, it's a short week. It's in Green Bay. So this can go either way. I'll take Green Bay for the vibes. It's going either way, but I'll take Green Bay to slightly cover the spread, 3.5 points. It's in Lambeau. It's a short week. That's the only thing I can go with at this point. But if Washington wins this game, am I surprised? No, not at all.
Look, I'm willing to bet that spread will move up to 4.5, because everyone's going to be on the hype train for Green Bay. So I would wait till Sunday, right before game time, to bet the Skins, because that line definitely isn't coming down. But again, I think Washington wins outright.
All right. Well, you're feeling good about your team now, boy. All right.
You see how good Debo played?
Oh, what question? No, look, the Commanders had made a case too also. I will say the Giants, what's not being talking about that game with the Giants, as bad as they played, the Giants were in that game to late in the fourth quarter. That was still one score game until
defense.
Went into the fourth.
You have a defense.
Yeah. All right, Sunday games. We got Jaguars at Bengals. The Bengals are 3.5-point favorites. The over-under, Zach, is 49.5. What you got?
Give me the Bengals. You knew that was going to be – I knew it was going to be a tight game with Cleveland. I just really thought that since he would pull away in the second half, turns out they couldn't move the football more than 7 yards total in the second half, which was embarrassing.
Yeah, I have the same vibe too. I'm taking Cincinnati. I thought they come out on all cylinders. I thought they'd blow out the Browns. I know the Browns get issues, but still. But man, I think I'm a little. I should be shocked at this. I'm a little shocked. I played what it did. Having said that, I'll take the Bengals here. I don't. There was nothing in that game against the Panthers that made me feel like, okay, cool. All right, I'm going to give performance to the Panthers. They're the Panthers. You know what I mean? Now, if the Jaguars come out, win this game, and play well, and to the point of win this game in Cincinnati, now we got a conversation. But for the time being, no, Cincinnati's still a better team. Give me the Bengals this one, man. So, all right, next one. We got another big one. Giants at Cowboys. The Cowboys are 6-point favorites. The over-under, Zach, is 40.
The only thing that would make me hesitate to think you guys are going to hang in this game is the fact you have a defensive line going against what is a crumbling offensive line for Dallas. But they got 2 studs at wide receiver. They're going to – I feel like they're just going to eat your corners up. So give me Dallas.
At what point do you – so Dayball initially was non-committal. After the game on Sunday, he was non-committal about the quarterback pick 2. And then he decided to go with Wilson. Not surprised, of course, but the very fact that he didn't commit to Wilson immediately, when he should at least tell you something, right? So he's telling you that the dart's going to be there much sooner than you realize.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, if I was worried about defenses, this would be the game I'd put them in now, because Dallas doesn't have a scary defense.
So look at the schedule. So the Giants' schedule right now, I always said that week 5 against the Saints was like the target point for, depending where they're at that point after the first 4 games. I think they have Dallas this week. Then I believe it's a combination of Minnesota and the Chargers. Week 3 and 4. I can't remember the order exactly, but that combination.
Yeah.
And then the 5th game is against the Saints. So my logic is like, hey, well, let Russ in a tough game out the shoot. Let's assess for that after week 4, and then after that, we'll figure it out. And then if they're 0-4, 1-3, and Russ's not playing well, that's when Dart comes in against the Saints. But I feel like they may pull that trigger a lot faster than you realize. If he's non-committal that early, and he also got to save his job too on top of that. And this is his guy.
Yeah.
He may have to. And by the way, not to say Russ was the reason he lost that game, because he wasn't. Because when you're missing half your line as is, it's a problem. But Russ, dude, you don't know I'm a Russ guy. You teased me on this podcast for years. That's my goat. That's my goat, right? Dude, he's cooked.
Yeah,
Cooked.
man,
He's cooked.
he is.
He can't make plays anymore. It's a problem. He can still throw the ball, but he can't make plays, and that's what made Russ special. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm going to take the over in this one. I'm taking the over in this one. I think we can get 41, 44 in this game. What you have again this game? You got Dallas?
Yeah, I got Dallas to cover.
Cover 6? Okay, cool. All right, next game here. We have the Bears at the Lions. The Lions are 6-point favorites. The over-under, Zach, is 47.
I actually think the Bears will have a better showing than they did Monday night. So I want to probably hedge my bet, and I'll just take the over in the game rather than take Chicago with the points.
Well, the Bears actually outplayed Minnesota for the first 3 quarters of the game.
Yeah.
And then they forgot the fourth quarter happened. The fourth quarter still counts. You know, so you know what, bro? This is nothing against Chicago, man. But I think Detroit, they're gonna just. I think Detroit is just gonna. They're gonna bounce back. I think here. I think for 1 week, because all of this, the doubters like myself saying the Lions their Super Bowl window is probably closed now. I think for 1 week they're gonna put pedal to the metal. I'm gonna take Detroit to cover 6 points here, just because I just think that they can't afford to fall behind 2 games to the Packers this week if the Packers win this week. So give me Detroit to cover 6 points. I just think that they're going to handle the business this week. All right. We got Rams at Titans. The Rams are 5.5-point favorites. The over-under, Zach, it's 42.
Hey, Chris, I think you're wrong. I think you're completely wrong about Cam. All right. He showed absolutely nothing. Now, you can say he was going up against one of the 3 best defenses in the league, but he showed absolutely nothing in that game. So I think it's going to be a repeat, and it'll be a quick blowout because you have a competent offense in the Rams. So give me the Rams to cover.
In Tennessee, huh?
Yeah.
Great. I thought he looked composed, though. That was more about the Broncos' defense, in my opinion, from what I watched. And that was a game until they lost 1 score. That was a close game all the way through.
Yeah, because of all the turnovers of Bo Nix, who could only play in one system, the Denver system.
By the way, was it you that said a little overrated, Bo Nix? A little overrated.
I said he wouldn't get drafted unless it was to the Broncos.
Right. I don't know. Bo's a good quarterback, but people a little higher on Bo than they probably should be.
Yeah.
Overrated a little bit. Having said that,
way overrated.
I'm going to go ahead and take I have here an over in this game. Because I don't know how. I have Tennessee being the second worst team in football this year. But I can see them be competitive week to week because of that quarterback. I like his moxie. I think he'll figure things out.
Against that Rams pass rush, you actually think they're going to be competitive?
They're at home, so maybe they're drilling home might help a little bit. Give me the over in this game. Rams win this game, no doubt about that. But give me over.
I'd be scared about any over with Tennessee because Tennessee has a defense.
That's true. It's low enough to take a chance though. All right. Let's spend some time on this one a little bit. Patriots and Dolphins. Dolphins 1-point favorites. Over under 44. Zach.
This is 2 teams that look like they're easily gonna be top in the top 10 draft picks. All right. Miami, the way they came out, they look like they're gonna be 1 or 2 in the draft, but I really believe this is a get-right game for Miami. So I'm actually taking Miami, but there are a ton of worries. After week 1, I can imagine every Dolphin fan is thinking, let's clear house. Get rid of the GM, get rid of the coach. Let's get rid of the quarterback. Let's start all over.
It's exactly what I said weeks ago, and I got made fun of up until last week by every Dolphin fan when I said this is a must-win game for the Dolphins against the Colts. Not because of okay, well, it's just 1 week. Yes, but it's a vibe thing. It's also a lot of fans were down this team coming to the year anyway. Okay, so had they won this game, you're feeling better about this team going forward. Okay, now the good news is that the Pats, based on 1 week, aren't as advertised. Remember the whole thing during the season we did a preview. I was like, I don't understand 8.5 win total. I don't understand all that. There was nothing I saw in that game because against the Raiders. Maybe think that this team's going to go over 8.5 wins. I'm sorry, there's nothing there. Maybe down the road it'll be better in Vrabel, but this year I don't see it. So the Patriots are not as good as we thought. Now, at the time when I was making an assessment about the first 3 games, Colts, Patriots, and then the Bills week 3. That's why I had the Colts game as a must, because then that Pats game becomes a must win. And if you lose that Pats game, you're 0-2 going to Buffalo. God bless you. You know what I'm saying? Having said all that, this is a Dolphins home game. This motherfucker could get really ugly if they lose this game. Because McDaniel's right on the hot seat. He's right on the hot seat. So is Tua. That's the vibe right now coming to Miami now. That everything is bad. Okay, which by the way, I also predicted the fucking before the year started. This can get ugly if the Pats somehow steal this game. You're 0-2, starting 0-3 against Buffalo Bills. You never win in Buffalo, so you look at basically 0-3 at that point. Shit can get real bad, real fast.
Yeah, they lose this game. Even I would be calling for the coach to already get fired, because the one thing they like to do is try and run the ball with gadget plays. Weird fake outs, weird cutbacks, little screen passes. That does nothing for your offense when you're down 10, down 17. So if they can't get out to a lead, they can't even run the ball. And then they're done. They're cooked.
The league has caught up to them now at this point. The league has caught up to them. And I don't know, man. This can get really, really ugly, man. So I'm going to take Miami here for this 1 week. And if you go to Buffalo, you 1-1, you lose to Buffalo, you're still 1-2, okay, but the season's still within grasp. If week 1 wasn't a must win, I'll say now, this game's a must win, without question, for the Dolphins.
Oh, if they lose this game, I would be betting on them to get the first pick in the draft, because I would not be able to see them winning a single game.
Only that. If I'm the forward point, I'm trading Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, probably to Kansas City.
Yeah.
They need a weapon bad.
And we'll get to them in a second. So I'll take Miami in this game for 1 week. All right, next game, Niners at Saints. The Niners are 4.5-point favorites. The over-under, Zack, is 42.5.
Again, I don't even understand why this spread is so low. I get it, San Fran's on the road, but this is a Saints team that should be the number one pick in the draft. To me, in my eyes, they have the worst team in all of football. So give me the 49ers.
The fact that you're in that game against Arizona I think says more about the Cardinals than anything else, probably. The one thing that's the same grace for the Saints for this week is that George Kittle's going to be out multiple weeks. Okay, we just found it out. Brock Purdy's hurt also too. He may not play this game. Having said all that, I still think Niners win this game. I still think Garoppolo as a backup will still come in this game if he was the backup.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So give me a Niners here as well, too. All right. Bills at Jets. The Bills are 6.5-point favorites. The over-under, Zack, is 46.
Hey, Justin Fields. I know you had a great game week 1. It was basically your revenge game. But it's about to be a rude awakening. And Aaron Glenn, you look great as a coach in week 1. Now you're about to get stomped out. And I'm sure you're about to say, oh, this is going to be a catch game for him. No. Bills are going to blow him out.
I don't know, man. This is why I hate week 1s, because the overreactions and I said in the podcast earlier, I recorded earlier today, the Jets still suck. They play well. They're still going to suck. Okay, and when we get to week 8, week 9, that week 1, game where they hung on the balance with the Steelers ain't gonna matter. But it's also why I hate week 2, because then okay, so what's real? Like Buffalo had their scare against Baltimore. We'll get to that in a second. Bills win this game, no doubt. Just for the sake of the rivalry and the sake of the optics, I'll take the Jets at the points. But I might be totally fucking around this one. Has Aaron Glenn really infused a culture now where even if we're going to be a 5-12 team, we are going to be a hard out every week? I can see that. And maybe that is the case. We'll see. I'll take the Jets on the points here just because of that. Go ahead. What are you going to say?
No, it's 6.5, right?
Yeah. It's a lot of points. It's a lot of points, though.
Well, I can see the Bills maybe first half focusing on getting their run game straightened out, but I think so much of week one for the Jets was Justin Fields wanting to come out and stick it to the Steelers more than anything else.
Very true. Very true. Very true.
And look, the Jets defense, I don't even really think showed up, but they managed to put a ton of pressure on Aaron Rodgers to where he wouldn't have won that game if not for a superior field goal kicker on that team.
Right. All right. Next game here we have, speaking of Steelers, Seahawks and Steelers. Pittsburgh, the Steelers are 3-point favorites. The over-under, Zach, is 40. Seattle was close to win that game on Sunday against San Francisco to that fumble.
Yeah. Holy cow, you should have seen the freaking sportsbook go crazy in Mandalay Bay when San Fran finally put up a touchdown late in the fourth quarter. I mean, that place erupted like they were watching the Canelo fight this weekend. It was wild.
You like this one?
I actually like Seattle in this one.
Really? To win outright?
I won't go that far, but again, for what Aaron Rodgers did with the 4 touchdowns, he really didn't look that good. So
there is something to that. The numbers can also say a different story. Like those touchdowns were all on bootlegs, play action bootlegs, and I didn't see him really sling the ball throughout the day. Look. Same as Justin Fields also too. He also wanted to, his whole team. I'm probably one of the people in the world right now that is a lot higher on the Steelers though, big picture, than most. So that's why I'm gonna pick Pittsburgh here. But I don't know, man. This is my team to watch the next couple of weeks. I want to see if this Steelers team is real because it was a 6-yard field goal by Boswell, man. Jets win this game.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll take Pitt on this one. You think Seattle, right?
Yeah.
I'll take Pitt. All right. Here we go. Browns at Ravens. The Ravens, 11.5-point favorites. The over-under is 45, Zach. Well, what a loss on Sunday. My God. But let me ask you a question. I said this on the pod earlier. I'll ask you. Kind of feel like this is a good loss for Baltimore. Because here's the thing. They win the game on Sunday. What's the narrative Monday morning? Oh, well, great win by against Buffalo, but do it in January. So they're in a no-win situation.
No, they are in a win situation by winning that game because now they're in the driver's seat for home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
What does that matter before in the past? They had it before in the past, still lost.
Yeah, well, you still want that home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
Agree.
When you haven't actually won, when you haven't actually gotten to a Super Bowl with your new quarterback, you really need that home field advantage. All right, Lamar, finally had a good game in a playoff series and a playoff matchup, and it was a drop pass that cost him. So he needs home field advantage in my book.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just take it easy and play safe. I'll take the over in the game.
No, I think Baltimore comes out and fucking smashes Cleveland. I'm surprised the spread's not even higher. I'm not even joking. I'm surprised the spread's not like 13 and 14. I think Baltimore goes nuts. And by the way, I'm still not convinced. I know the last 2 losses were against Buffalo, the playoff game, of course, last year, and then this past Sunday. But I'm still. If you ask me now who's a better team, I'm still taking Baltimore or Buffalo.
I couldn't do it right now.
Zachary, I know it's nonsensical based on the results.
You gave up 400 yards passing. 400 yards passing. All right. You don't have a pass defense.
You
really don't have a defense.
There's a little bit of luck in that game too. Also, a little bit of luck. That Keon Coleman touchdown, 4th down. If he drops that's on 4th down. That game's over. It's a bounce. Like Baltimore found each and every way to fucking give the game to Buffalo. Each and every way. I mean, one thing goes wrong, that game is over.
Yeah,
So
if Derrick Henry doesn't fumble, they also probably win.
yeah,
But you know what? That's what happens with Baltimore
they get their own
in
way.
big games.
I'm sorry, and I'm gonna say it again. This is a Super Bowl or bust year for the Ravens. If they don't get to the Super Bowl this year, John Harbaugh is gone. Gone. End
I don't
discussion.
see that happen.
I don't know, man. I just don't know how you can build this team now. Lamar has the help he's getting now, and you're still failing because of mistakes that you made. You're not losing to better teams, bro. Like
Harbaugh isn't the one dropping the ball on a
true, but
rush. Harbaugh's not the one not catching a pass.
well, he will get the blame. They're gonna have to do something, and then who's the first person to go? It's always the coach. So
He's as safe as Mike Tomlin. Okay, the only way he's leaving is if he chooses to leave.
I don't even know if Tomlin's that safe, to be honest with you, but we'll see how that plays out. All right, next one: Broncos at Colts. This is a good game, actually. Broncos are 1.5 point favorites. The over under 42. Zach. Indiana Jones. What the hell?
Indiana Jones, man.
You love that shit, didn't you?
I do, and I'm taking Indiana Jones and the Colts again. All right,
Really?
Colts got a good defense. Bo Nix will probably turn it over again. I'm actually going to be no. What was the over under?
42. It's very low.
Yeah, I'll take the under.
I am. You taking the under? Okay, I am. I am as well.
Yeah, I want to go with Indiana Jones, but for betting purposes, I'll play safe and take the under.
This game outside the Super Bowl rematch, which we'll get to in a second, might be the biggest game of the weekend. Because Indianapolis, Houston lost week 1. So if Indianapolis can peel off some wins here, all of a sudden they're the cream of the crop in the AFC South. You know what I'm saying? Just saying, something to keep an eye on. If this Daniel Jones thing is a real thing, the rehab of Daniel Jones, which will fucking hurt my heart because, god damn it, what the hell? Obvious reasons.
Look, you guys ran him out of town for a deli shop owner. All right.
I think Denver's still overrated, but I'm taking the under this game. Denver's defense is really good, though. I will say that. So defense will play. All right. Panthers at Cardinals. The Cardinals 6.5 point favorites. The over under, Zach, is 44.5.
So I gotta say this right off the bat. I think both Alabama quarterbacks are done as starters after this season. I don't see either of them being named a starter going into a season if they ever start again.
For Bryce Young, and then Tua, right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, Tua, I don't know if this is true or not. Someone told me that to get out of Tua's deal, it would cost Miami somewhere in the neighborhood of $70 million. I don't know if that's true or not, though.
That's nothing now.
So, my buddy, if things get that bad, they don't give a fuck. They'll do it anyway.
Yeah. Steven also got a tax break.
Yeah, because they'll just throw in Quinn Ewers anyway in there. Like Quinn Ewers, eat up some snaps. So that's why they brought him in the first place. I have the over in this game, Panthers to Cardinals. What do you got?
I got the Cardinals.
Yeah, I thought Carolina would be a little more friskier. Again, only week 1, but yeah. Cardinals actually covered, even though the game came on the wire against the Saints, the last play of the game, they still barely covered. So
yeah, and at least the Saints played good throughout for the most part. I mean, they out for 2.5 quarters. They played really good. That first quarter, they sucked.
By the way, I was today years old that I realized that Spencer Rattler, the quarterback for the Saints, he's black.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I mean, he's albino, but
yeah, I did not know that. Sound like a white guy. I had no fucking clue, bro. All right, here we go. The big rematch. Eagles at Chiefs. Eagles 1 point favorites. Over under 47. Zach. Chiefs is not 0-1. That's a bad loss to the Chargers. Spoiler alert: they're not in my top 10 this week in my power rankings. Everybody knows I'm a big Chief homer. This year, I already told you I've called out the white flags. I stated on the show that for the first time in the Mahomes era, Pat Mahomes will not reach the AFC title game. So there will be regression, and you're seeing it now. We like this one.
I love the Eagles. I actually think the Eagles might beat them worse than they did in the Super Bowl.
Damn, in Harris, dude, jeez. Dude.
Yes. I don't understand how this spread is only one. It is just too much respect for the Chiefs and too much respect for the fan base in that stadium.
That's what it is.
Right. Eagles are going to kill them.
I have the Eagles as well, too. I don't know if I'll go that far and say they blow them out, though, but I think if they lose this game, though, if you're 0-2, and say Chargers win their game against who they're playing this weekend. Chargers are playing Monday Night Football against the Vegas Raiders. You make the phone call to the Dolphins to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do something because this shit ain't working, bro. This shit ain't working. You can't. The Zebras ain't gonna rescue this time. I'll tell you right now. So give me the Eagles here as well too, though. All right, Sunday football. We got the Falcons at the Vikings. The Vikings, the 4.5-point favorites. The over under Zack, 44.5. What do you think about McCarthy last night?
He looked just like I expected him to look in the second half. All right. Once he got his legs under him and felt the game speed for what it was, he looked like he belonged there. And when you can throw to Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson, it makes things a lot easier.
Don't forget, they don't have Addison in 2 more weeks. So if you can get some early in the year without your second best receiver, and he gets him back, and you say you're 2-1 or 3-0, whatever. At this point, you're in a good spot. To me, I said this was the biggest wild card for me in the NFC because McCarthy. We don't know how good he is. We know that team's pretty good. We just know that we know that the weapons are there. It's just that can McCarthy, can he duplicate what Sam Darnold did last year, if not even more? I mean, first half looked kind of shaky, but that second half, though, to do that on Monday Night Football in that environment against a division rival, I don't give a shit. It's the Bears. It's still a division rival in that environment on Monday Night Football. That's a big, big, big statement by McCarthy. I'm taking the over though. Michael Penix Jr. No one's talking about this. He looked fantastic in Tampa.
He pushes the ball down the field. All right. Yeah. This is something a lot of teams need to focus on. Nobody wants to watch 40 freaking screens a day. All right. When all you're doing is throwing right at the line of scrimmage for a 3-yard pass play, just run the ball. Yeah. At least then there's possible excitement. So I love Penix. I thought he should have been drafted higher.
Oh, you're a big fan of his. I remember something. Yeah. We got drafted. You wanted in Washington, I think, at one point.
Yes, absolutely, I did.
Yeah.
I also thought he should have gone ahead of Caleb Williams. So
there you go. Who you have this game in?
I got the over as well.
Okay, awesome. All right, we got Zach 2 Monday night games. First one, Bucks at Texans. Sneaky big game here. The Texans are 2.5-point favorites. The over under is 42. CJ Stroud. Nothing's bad, but Now, granted, the Rams defense was really good. I mean, we spoke about this coming to the year that, obviously Stafford's injuries is a big concern, but the reason why I had the Rams in the NFC title game was because of their defense. And they showed up, held Houston 9 points on Sunday. But C.J. Stroud didn't look great, and he had a mid-year last year. So maybe, look, I'm not gonna overblow in one game because he had a good playoff game last year in the wild card round. But maybe C.J. Stroud isn't what we thought. Who I thought he was in his rookie year. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna go there because you were ready to put him top 5.
I thought I did put him top 5 last year. Maybe close to top 5. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to talk you out of that nonsense.
Yeah, you did.
All right. But look, there's always a couple division winners who don't even make the playoffs the next year. I think this is one of those teams in Houston. All right. Colts are look way better than anyone expected. I have a lot of hope on Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
I really believe
Redding. Kyle thought you were crazy. He comes to the team, but yeah.
Look, when they get Hunter going, and he's playing both sides more, because I really feel like the best thing you could do with Travis Hunter is let him play football.
Mhm.
39 total snaps or 45 total snaps. That's just not enough snaps for that kid. That kid was playing 100 snaps a game in college. So I really think he just needs to be on the field more. But I have a lot of hope in Jacksonville. That's why I'm going to say give me the Bucks, and I think the Bucks literally win by 7 or more.
So today, my observations I did in my pod today, I made one of my takeaways was don't be shocked if Baker Mayfield is a sneaky MVP candidate this year. Dude, what he's done these last couple of years in Tampa, and look, we know the NFC South sucks. We get all that, but what he's done to turn around his career, I think we all had him a top 10 guy in the league. I think we all put him in the top 10.
Yeah.
You and Chris both. Look, the numbers didn't pop on Sunday. It wasn't a great game, but he made the right throws at the right time. And that last drive, he got it up. He found ways to stay involved. He runs the ball, for third downs, and he's just a gritty player, man. He's a good football player. I'll take on my team any day of the week. I do have the over in this game though. It feels low enough to take the over. 42. So, but yeah, Tampa, they go 2-0, man. Again, that whole conversation about the NFC and looking for that second team. I'm not saying Tampa is that or could, but they could be that. Who knows? We'll see how things play the rest of the year, but that spot's wide open. All right, finally, the last Monday night game here, we have Chargers at Raiders. The Chargers are 3.5-point favorites. The over-under, Zach, 46.5.
This is two old school coaches who love to run the ball. All right. 46 just seems too high to me for this game.
Yep.
So I could be convinced either team could win, but I think it's going to be a slugfest. Honestly do. So I'm taking the under.
Yeah. I have that as well. I told you, everybody, the Raiders are going to be last place in the division, but a very good last place team. Very frisky. They have a solid quarterback. They got a rookie running back who was in a Heisman finalist last year. They got some weapons. They got Brock Bowers, who might be ready the best tight end in football right now. Certainly up top two or three. They have, you got Max Crosby on the defense. They have some of the pieces to compete week to week. And if they were in the AFC West, if they were in the NFC South, for example, they may be a playoff team. They may win the division. Who knows? So this is a frisky team, but Chargers look great on Friday night last week. And they're a wild card team for me, but I think some of this Chiefs stuff we see now, what I saw Monday on Friday against them, and then what may happen on Sunday against the Eagles, the Chargers might. I think after this week, we talk about the Chargers being the favorite win the West completely.
Look, I honestly think if the Chiefs don't at least make it a close game or have their offense doing something, there's going to be full-on panic that they may not make the playoffs. And that they could end up being the worst team in that division. All right.
Who knows, buddy? That's very possible.
Right now, you have so much pressure on Rice when he comes back after his suspension of being the piece that is missing. And that's a lot of pressure for a young kid who only showed up a couple games last year.
He's out 6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. You better call Tyreek next week, buddy. Yeah. No, I don't hate that take, actually. I'm not ready to jump on board on a wagon of that just yet because, you still got Andy Reid and Mahomes. But, the teams in the division are ascending. Chargers are ascending. Broncos are ascending. Raiders are ascending right now.
Yeah.
Chiefs, what are you doing? So, but I also am with you. I'm taking the under as well, too, in this game. It's a slugfest. Pete Carroll against Jim Harbaugh. Should be a classic. All right. And two more things got out here. FSU Minute. The Noles now 2-0. They already matched the win total from last year. Oh, my God. Championship. No joking. They got a bye week this week. By breaking news, the Noles scored again. But now it's 84-3. So, sick game. I didn't get to watch it, but what's there to watch, really? I mean, this game was a bit. My thought process was like, you know what? Because the line was FSU
Or 45, I think.
Right, and I was like, I'm gonna bet fucking East Texas A&M because who the fuck's covering that kind of score? Halftime, they already covering the spread.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? So like, dude, that got embedded though. We're off this week. I think we play the week after. Do you know who we play next week after? I'm checking right now.
Offhand, I don't. I would guess like NC State or something, but I can't remember.
State. Kent State. That should be a win too also.
Ooh.
So week 5, Virginia. That'll be the first kind of test, I guess. And then the Miami game, week 6. So we got a couple weeks before we get that big Miami game. So impressive. The Noles so far, they're very, very impressive. You know?
No. I mean, I'll say it again. It is amazing what a competent quarterback who can give your whole team that belief that they can go out and win every game. When you have a guy that exudes that kind of confidence, it changes your whole program for a season.
And right now they're returning the country.
Yeah.
People. I mean, I'm not convinced they're the 10th best team in the country necessarily. I mean, you got to see some games that look. The Alabama game, so Alabama looked really good in their bounce back. So you use that. By week 4, week 5, we have a better idea where both these teams are at. Alabama. If Alabama's better than they looked on week 1, that's good for us because it means that that's a quality win for us.
Yeah.
You say we beat Alabama, this year. It's good.
Yeah, I don't think we'll really have a true understanding of whether or not we can compete for a championship until the Miami game.
Right.
If we beat Miami in convincing fashion, then yeah, I'm gonna start to believe we have a shot at a championship.
Well, first things first, win the ACC number 1. First one, because are we better than Clemson? Are we better than Miami?
Yes.
If you answer that question, then we can move forward to other teams outside the bubble, the ACC.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about are we better than Miami because I think what has happened to Clemson in the last few years, they're no longer that top dog. I don't think they have that confidence in that program anymore. So
they lost on fucking Saturday, bro.
So that I am more concerned about Miami.
Yeah. Dabo hot seat, probably. Maybe.
I don't know. He's a deep Christian in a Christian state, so he could be pretty safe for a while.
When he ain't winning, though, who knows?
And his buyout's got to be insane.
I got to research that.
I mean, if Mike Norvell's buyout is $70 million, it's got to be over $100 for Dabo.
Speaking of hot seats, the Gators, they came in the year saying they're a playoff team. Lagway might be a Heisman candidate this year. And they won week 1 against Long Island. No, it is Long Island, but whatever. Shut them out 55-0. And then they come back and put up a dud against South Florida. And all of a sudden, we've gone from now Florida being a national title contender to now Florida, our coach sucks now. What the hell? Billy Napier, hot seat, big time, right?
Absolutely. Look, he's not a great coach. He got to Florida. He got a job that he didn't deserve to have, but they liked the way he called a game. So he struggled 2 years ago when Anthony Richardson was their quarterback, or 3 years. I just feel like he is in a situation. Florida fans are in a situation where Florida State fans have felt like for most of the time that we've had Mike Norvell. We had one good year with Mike Norvell, and this might be his second. But yeah, definitely got to be on the hot seat, and that's a school willing to fire coaches and just pay out the money.
And then their schedule was not very forgiving either. They play LSU this week. Okay, that's probably gonna be a loss in LSU. Okay, yeah. Week 4, Miami.
Probably a loss.
We lost.
Definitely right now.
Yeah, week 5, they're off. Week 6, Texas.
I don't know about that now.
Well, we'll see. Texas is a little shaky out the ropes, They didn't even cover this week against San Jose.
No,
You said-
exactly. And they just keep making excuse after excuse for Arch Manning. Like, that dude started 3 games last year. All right, he came in for like 3 others. He had plenty of playing time last year. And they're like, oh, this is his first true year starting. No, come on. We need to be honest. This kid has had a lot of time on the field already.
So, anyway, should be a decent week of college football. NFL, of course, best bets here. Zach, thank you as always for coming to pod. Glad you're back from Vegas, safe and sound, and not and sobered up and all that, and ready to get back to work, right?
Man, I let it go off the plane and went to work. So.
You serious?
Yeah. Took the red eye.
I was asking, took the red eye.
Yeah. Take the red eye, land. I think we hopped in the car at like 7:50 in the morning. Hauled ass home because I forgot to put my work clothes in the truck. So yeah, by 9 o'clock I was at work sweating my ass off.
Bro, be grateful. I love being a dad, of course. Be grateful you have any kids because that'd be hard to pull off without having children.
Why? As long as you got a wife.
Well, what if she works too? What the fuck?
Well, she not that day. She ain't. She's gonna have to take care of the kids.
Pick up some slack, right? Oh man! All right, Zach. Good job as always, man.
Yeah, man. Good luck this weekend.
All right, you too, man. Take it easy.
Later.